Hey guys, in this video we're going to be talking all about the basics of HMO licensing, so let's get into it. Now the very first thing that we need to do when considering a new HMO is whether it actually needs a license or not. Now there is a mandatory licensing which is nationwide within England, which states that if you have 5 or more unrelated people sharing a property, then you need a license. Now the licence you apply for through the local council and they will assess it based on their own requirements, which we'll come to in a moment. Now some councils have brought in what is called additional licensing. This means that they will look for you to apply for a licence if you have maybe 4 unrelated people or even 3 unrelated people, depending on what that particular council is looking for. So your first job is to go and look at your local council and find out, do you actually need a licence? Now the second thing to do is to go to the council's website that you're interested in and then download the HMO licensing standards. Now this is a document which will contain all of the information that you need to know in order to be able to obtain a licence. This document can be quite difficult to interpret, so here are the key things that you need to look out for. The first thing to look out for is the room size requirements. Now nationally there are minimum room sizes. Now these are going to be 6.51 square metres for a single occupied bedroom and 10.22 square metres for a double occupied bedroom. The council may adopt those national minimum standards, or they may raise the bar a little bit and actually ask for example, 8 square metres for a bedroom with 1 occupier. The next thing to look out for are the room size requirements for communal space. Now the council will give you an indication of how big they want kitchens and lounges to be. You might even combine them into one large kitchen, dining room and sitting room, and the council will tell you what the options are if you have them separately or if you have them combined. There's no legal minimum standards for these. These are all guidelines. So there's always a negotiation to be had with your licensing officer if there's a bit of a grey area around whether you've got enough kitchen space or not. But to be honest, if you do what we call next level HMOs, you generally don't have any issues because you're creating a decent amount of space within bedrooms, but also within communal spaces. The next thing to look out for is the amenities that you need to provide. So for example, how many sinks do you need? Do you need a washing machine? How much worktop space is required per person? How much cupboard space is required per person in the kitchen, for example? So all of these things are dictated to, and to be fair, the standards are generally quite low, so it's quite easy to beat them. But just be careful in case you do have any small areas where it's difficult to get in the required minimums. One of the most important things to get right is fire, and the licensing officers are always going to be looking at this. They're going to be looking for you to get the right fire doors, whether they have door closers. You need to look at whether they have intumescent strips so that the smoke doesn't get through the door frames, whether you need to have emergency lighting in case of escape, because those are the 2 main things. It's fire detection and the ability to escape from a property. So you're going to be looking at, do you have a fire protected route out of the property? Do you have an escape window from a bedroom if it's difficult to get out through the main hallway, for example? The best place to get this information is in what's called the LACORS guide. It's a bit of information which has been around for a little while now, but it explains exactly what the councils are going to be looking for when it comes to working out the means of escape. And I've done a different video all about the fire regulations when it comes to HMOs. One of the other things that the council are going to want to know is who is managing the property and are they a fit and proper person? Do they have a criminal record, for example? Anything in their background which would mean that they're not likely to be a good manager of other people? Because essentially that's what you're doing. By managing the property and owning the property, you're creating a space for other people to live and you're managing those people within that space. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to learn more about this, then please ask questions down below or get in touch via our website, www.thehmoplatform.co.uk.